Hello everyone, it's Kibiji. And this is a video that I need to just record and tell you because people choose sides in this whole console war thing. You know, you're rooting for the PlayStation 5, you're rooting for Xbox or whatever. That's cool and dandy. This is not a video to sway you either way. But we have to talk about something that deserves respect. And that is the moves that Xbox has been doing the past year. And today, they just signified it all the more. And really earned the title from me as like just a publisher that has no sound reasoning or justification or whatever to be doing the stuff that they are doing in terms of how generous they're being. It's insane. So this is kind of inspired by Alana Pierce. You might have heard of her. Great insider in terms of gaming news and stuff. She's been doing it for years. And I just shout out to her. I'll plug her thing in. She shot a couple weeks ago when the Xbox Game Showcase was happening. But today, I'm just kind of like part 2 of that, because of this whole Halo Infinite delay. And no, this is not negative. It's the exact opposite. Everybody has reasons for liking a certain publisher, and that's mostly because of the games they make, right? You like the games that that publisher makes, not developer, publisher. You see Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, and you're like, oh, that's Ubisoft. You see God of War and Uncharted, that's PlayStation. You see Halo and Gears, that's Xbox. You see Battlefield and Mass Effect, that's EA. You know, you got these games that you identify with each publisher, and you think of the developers deserve so much praise because they are the ones making the game, literally, whereas the publisher is all about, you know, trying to do the business side of it and trying to, you know, make sure they have enough profit to keep making more games that you might like and stuff. And yes, make them money if you want to look at it that way. And Xbox specifically has been so ridiculously pro-consumer the past year. It's crazy. But now today, they made a stand for something that's just all the more respectable. Truly. But let me get into the reasons why that is. Folks have been seeing online, you know, this Halo Infinite delay happened today, and I have a video about that. You can see that in the cards above, whatever. But there's a lot of folks that are praising like 343. Like, man, 343, I respect you for doing this. And yes, totally. Like you should. Yes, because I'm sure they wanted to release the game early for you. And they're really eager to show you what they're working on, like any artist is. But they want to make sure it's done right. So that is respectable. But the people that approve that is Xbox. And I listen to so many people on the regular, Kind of Funny, IGN, just lots of different people in terms of just everything. Nintendo, PlayStation, PC, whatever. I listen to them all. Not all, but a lot of them. And everybody I listen to about their opinion on Halo Infinite and how it came out, it seemed pretty damn universal that they're like, the game should be delayed, but it will not be. Everybody was so firm about this, including me. Like, I was trying to make a stand for the game to get delayed, but admittedly, I'm like, there's no way they would delay. And for the same reasons everybody else was saying, they would never sacrifice having their big flagship, their biggest flagship they have. They would not sacrifice launching their next-gen system with a new entry from their main franchise that is under their wing, Halo. They wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't. And like 9 out of 10 people seem to just be in agreement with that. And it's understandable because a big launch title is really important to sell your next system. And most of the time, it's just fans sticking with whoever they're fanboying or girling with. But launch titles are important. And for Xbox, that was definitely Halo Infinite. And that's why everybody didn't think they would do it. But then, obviously you know where I'm going with this. So yeah, okay, so they delayed it. So that's why you respect them? No. That just stacked. That just stacked on top of why I already respected them. Xbox has been doing so many crazy things this past year for its consumers and now its developers. They acquired all these different studios to give them first-party backing, which is great on the developer side of things. And then they came out with, before that acquisition stuff, they came out with Game Pass and this subscription service that should not be as cheap as it is. I really don't understand how cheap it is, but it is. And with $10 or $15 a month, you get tons of games across PC and Xbox. And now soon they are going to include XCloud, or I think they just call it Cloud X, whatever it's called now. But you get to do that too. So you can play your games on your phone, on your laptop, on your tablet, whatever has the app, and you can play games on the go. And in the future, they'll allow you to be able to boot it up on really anything and just stream games. And the thing about Xbox is that they just don't care where you play their games. And that's bonkers. They don't care where you play their games as long as you are playing their games and other games, because guess what? You, the gamer, are the most important thing to them. They don't want you to have to buy the Series X to play their games. They don't want you to have to be on this certain thing to do this certain thing. They are making backwards compatibility. If you want to play on your Xbox One or Series, that's fine. You could use your Series controller on your One. You could use your One controller on your Series. It don't matter. Just as long as you got the game, we don't want you to be held back by anything and play the game. That's stand 1, backwards compatibility. And stand 2 is Game Pass, which is a ridiculous subscription. Stand 3 is XCloud just being included in Game Pass Ultimate, which is already insane right there. Step 4 is freaking... I admit, I already forgot because I was on a tangent. It's insane. It's insane what they're doing. I remember what Stand 4 was. Stand 4 is their stand for smart delivery, for enhancing games. They were the first to make this stand. There's some companies that are hopping on with it now. Ubisoft is being good about it. PlayStation's kind of not really said too much about it. There's a couple games that are backed. Bethesda somewhat has made their stance on it, but Xbox has led this charge of, look, if you get a game on this previous system, you should be able to upgrade it for free on this next system. And that's what they're freaking doing, dude. They're having the smart delivery thing and just going, look, if you buy any of our games, and not all of them, like the third-party ones, that's a different story, but they've been reaching out. They've been trying to make it so if you buy a third-party game that's available on Xbox One and Series X, we want you to be able to upgrade that for free. They're making that stand, and that's insane. And they led the charge on that. Other people are starting to follow them, but they led the charge on that, and they're still following. That's Stand 4. Stand 5 is freaking crossplay, and just being able to play Minecraft across all platforms, being able to play Gears 5 across all platforms. They want to unite players, and that goes with their whole thing about making Halo Infinite free to play, the multiplayer. They're making their big next flagship title the multiplayer, the most arguably, like, I don't know unless the campaign's absolutely insane, but the most time investing part of what will probably be Halo Infinite is free to play across all these platforms that they've set up. Xbox is just being a saint. And that's kind of why, like, I admit I'm teetering and tottering about which next-gen system I want between PS5 and Series X. But I feel obligated to get a Series X. Because they are just giving so much to people. Yes, PlayStation is trying to acquire these exclusives. They bought the 2 Bethesda things to have exclusive to their system. They got the whole Spider-Man thing for the next Avengers game, exclusive to their system. That's what PlayStation does. They're all about exclusivity. That's their approach. That's what works for them. I'm not downplaying them. I'm not downplaying Nintendo for being the silent best friend of ours. I'm not downplaying Bethesda and Ubisoft and EA for some of the practices they are doing. I just need to praise what Xbox is doing, and they deserve your respect and everybody else's for the amount of investment they're giving their community, the amount of freedom they're giving their community, and now the freedom they are giving to their developers by telling 343, look, are you sure you won't have this ready in the most optimal way at launch? And they're like, no. Look at the feedback. And Xbox is like, okay, if that means we will not have the biggest flagship launch title we could have had for this system, it was a perfect plan. If you guys need more time to finish your game and polish it up so in the long run people understand that we care about the games we release and want to finish them and make sure that our developers are proud of them, we'll give you more time. We'll delay it. And we'll have no giant mainstream launch title at launch for our next console. It's a hard move, but we'll do it because we care about our games, because we care about the gamers. Bro, that's it. There's no publisher I respect now more than Xbox, just period. And I just personally believe, like, I'm not trying to convert PlayStation people or Nintendo people or PC people. Well, PC is fine because you're part of our system now. That's fine. But I'm just saying they need to be admired and just really respected for what they're trying to do, because all these business practices, I don't know how the hell it's paying off for them. I would love to sit at a board meeting of an accountant or something that is just the Xbox lead line producer or something, and looking at the numbers crunched, it must be working if they're willing to do this all, but damn, are they risking a shit ton. It's crazy. Xbox is crazy. They're saintly, and they are literally the kindest publisher in terms of like the big scheme. Yes, there's probably smaller indie publishers that are nicer, sure, but I'm talking about the big AAA publishers, the big AAA ones. There's none kinder than Xbox right now. None. Like, even close. That's my hot take. And if you disagree, cool. I would love to see how you think otherwise, but they just need, I don't know, man. I don't know how Xbox is doing what they're doing. They have Microsoft's backing, that's how, I guess, but I can't believe they got Microsoft to agree to all these decisions. I really can't, but let me know. If you have any ideas, if you're a business person and you have any ideas how they're doing it, let me know. But as a freaking gamer, mad respect for Xbox.